All right, this evening we're still back with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Doge. Now, we're still heading up on that top side. I'm still in these longs. Let me hop over here into the Discord, to the TA channel. So, I'm up over 10,000%, and I'm still not ready to take profits yet. I'm still waiting on some of the longer term indicators to pop off for me to take profits. It was very fortunate that we had a very big dip and that I was able to catch the dip. So just looking over here. I'll let a few people come into the channel before we start. I don't want people to miss everything. But I will say that on this top side, we are getting closer to those liquidations. ETH liquidations are still getting closer as well. We actually finally reclaimed 2100, so ETH is actually doing very well. From my long entry prices to current prices, I'm up significantly. We had that big V-shaped recovery after the dip. So just looking at this V-shaped recovery into the dip, we kept the uptrend for the most part as well. We had this area where the short-term moving average correlates over the longer term. So that's pretty good. We still have the $60,000 support for Bitcoin down here. 60K support was holding very well. I have a 9 cents long on Doge. We have bullish pennant target up here to about 11 cents. This goes to 11.11, so a little bit higher. And we have liquidations now that go to 10.16 and a potential take profit 11.35. So I know there's a lot of things to look at on the screen here. Let me missing ETH. XRP. We have the liquidations for XRP over here as well. Save this, crop it, full screen. Put this screenshot in the Discord. Let's go here. So nothing major has changed, but it's going. So I'm live with you guys. If you have any questions before we jump in here, feel free to ask. It's going to be an interesting stream. Crypto Sleeper says, we're going down, short everything. Thanks for your valuable feedback, Crypto Sleeper. I mean, that could be a real possibility, sir. Could be a real possibility. We could drop down quite hard. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if that were to happen. drinking some watermelon juice. Good to stay hydrated. Crypto Sleeper says, Tame, what do you think about the Clarity Act? It's good long term for crypto. It's good, really, really good long term for crypto. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop this down. XRP has been one of my good runners lately. And we're going to filter this out. XRP has been one of my good runners lately. I'll put it a little bit transparent. You can still see XRP. You can still see this. All right. I'm looking over here. Yeah, XRP. XRP getting it at $1.20 and then watching price go to $1.40. That was really good. It's like 20 cents per XRP. ETH is up here. My long got a little bit under 1900, and then seeing the price go to 2100 has been very good. I gotta drag the position entries over here for you guys. I got Bitcoin $6,000 ago, so I'm feeling pretty good about that last position on Bitcoin. So I saw we went to $1.54 for XRP. We have this bullish pennant target, and that target did fail, but we have liquidations that will probably get us back to $1.61. So these positions are doing quite well. I went long on Cardano also when the founder of Cardano gave a speech and mentioned he was down $3 billion. But if you look right here, I did mention that we might be in a range for a very long time yesterday after getting up there. This ranged for 12 hours. I was expecting about 16 hours, but it was about 12 hours ranging. And then by the time we got back up to the same price level, it took about 20, maybe like 27 hours. So here we are 27 hours after this, and we're still around the same price. Whereas Ethereum is trying to break that top. XRP may start coming up, break the top, and Dogecoin may start coming up to break the local tops as well. So some of these cryptos are in very good areas for accumulation still. A lot of traders did miss out. They're not going to be able to ride it up as good as us because they're late. Wow. I like it. Yeah, XRP is a real winner here. The fact that it could recover from the green blocks area $1.10, go up 33% in a matter of 19 hours, and still be up over 25% a day later, and then 2 days later is great. Imagine you got XRP down here, and you're up 27% in a matter of 2 days. You just outperformed the market. When I was entering these positions the other day, some people are thinking Tame might go lower. I'm not going to enter. I'm going to wait on the sidelines. Well, it was a risk that price could go down. So I did mention this was short-term trades. I was down initially negative for a little while. I was down negative for a little while for some of the trades. Like when I got long on XRP, it dropped down like 6 more cents per coin. I was down 5% at one point before the price started running and going up over 25%. I didn't get the absolute bottom. I got a good enough trade. I'm still holding a lot of physical silver. Still got these coins. Still have these American Eagles. Silver will still run again. We're going to make new all-time highs on silver. A lot of the AI companies are going to need silver if they want to get towards that path of AGI. There's a race. The company that does it will probably be buying a majority of the available physical silver for sale. AI doesn't work on paper silver. AI does not work on paper silver. I told you guys in my Discord about a metals stock a while back. The metal stocks are doing quite well. I'll pull that up. So I talked about this last year in May. I was on the couch watching TV, and I saw a documentary about an island. And then this corporation came up, and I was like, let me research all of these people. Maybe there's a stock related to it. Maybe I can find something out about it. So I'll pop that up for you real quick. Because I don't want you to take my word for it. Right here. It's the metals company. So I said, I like this stock. It's called the metals company. TMC. May 17th, 2025. The price was $3. $3.64 per. And maybe you guys like the metal company too, right? Maybe some of you guys liked it. But if you bought TMC around 364, let's see how it's doing now. Let's go to TradingView. This platform I'm using. We're watching the price go up anyway, so just chilling. Oh yeah, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy were redeemed. My green block at $106. Company redeemed itself. But let's look at the stock, the metals company. So let's look for May 17th, 2025. January, February, March, April, May, June. So this candle started is around this area right here. This was that area where I had that tweet. The metals company. May 17th. May 17th. And since May 17th, 2025, even before that, this stock was bottoming out. Ours, I was oversold like a few weeks prior. By the time I found this stock from the documentary at 364, I was 161 days late. But I realized I was late, but it was still okay because I was early enough that some other news came out later. Eventually, Trump had a deal for this company as president of the United States. So we look at the metals company from 364. From 364 until now, it's up about 77% currently. It went over 200% at one point, but currently it's at 77% up. So the metals company. So let me add this on here. The metals company. My green blocks are a little bit early, like around $1, from $1.63 to $1.73. So I'll add that in there as well. So from $1.63 to $1.73, that's what we saw there for the green blocks. But this is the metals company. It had a spike up at 316 before it came down, and then boom. And this was that confirmation zone. You saw the volume started picking up. So let me add that note as well. So we had that volume increase. So price is still up. Price is still up 77%. Even though we had this local dip, that price is still up. The metals company. The world will need real metals. So AI cannot operate on futures metals. It cannot operate on paper metal. It needs real metal. So it's doing very well. This is a stock that's been doing very well. Not many people bought this stock though. A lot of people shrugged it off. They thought, oh, metals aren't cool. Crypto's cool. The stock is pretty good. It's if it comes back down to that entry like a wick down, it's gonna be crazy. I like it. I like the stock still. And I like the fact that it's up significantly from those entries. This could easily turn into a longer term play. So we notice that there's going to be moments in our trading lives that we have opportunities like this. And it's very important that when you see an opportunity like that, you spend as much time researching it as possible. If you find yourself in the club getting a bottle of Hennessy and Coke instead of searching for these stocks and cryptos, you may be setting up some bad habits for yourself. Let's go back over here though. Let's watch these cryptos still heading up. I'm not taking profits yet. I'm still holding. And if you guys want to see how I was doing last time, my current trades. So my longs from yesterday are still in play. Nothing has changed. So the longs from yesterday are still in play. If you look right here, I'm still in the Cardano long. I'm still in the Bitcoin long. I'm still in the XRP long that was up over 3,000%. I think it's over 4,000% right now, last time I looked. These aren't updated. Most of these trades that you see are actually up at a higher percentage. I just wanted to show you from yesterday. Oh, and then at 10:32 a.m. yesterday morning, these were the value of those trades. So Cardano was up 2,081%. Bitcoin was up 2,400. Ethereum was up over 2,000%. Doja 1,100%. Zilliqa up 596%, and SRP was 5,700% at $1.48. We had some Discord members that are up, some are down. But yeah, I'm still in the trades. I know we're going to go up. I know we're going to push for some higher prices. And I wasn't happy with those profits. So I'm letting these trades run a little bit more. I know that we can run a little bit more on some of these trades. I know Bitcoin, after it reclaimed 70K, and we went there, we were very close to 72K. I wanted 72,000 on Bitcoin, and we had the liquidation up to 74K. So logically, when I zoom out, let's pick one of these. My favorite one, Doge. My favorite one, Doge. If you look at the Dogecoin and you just put it on the weekly chart, Dogecoin on the weekly chart looks like this. I have a green block indicator on that weekly chart. We have double bottom. We have targets that go back up to 91 cents. If we can go from 10 cents to 90 cents, that's over 800% move on Dogecoin. And you look at the weekly right here for Doge, RSI is oversold. This is what you want to see when you're buying RSI oversold. You don't want to buy RSI overbought. You want to buy it with your RSI oversold. What is RSI? RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. Now, I could talk to you about RSI for hours. You have RSI that acts differently in a bear market versus a bull market. How frequently it gets overbought, how frequently it oversold. And if you look at the RSI combined with something like the MACD, you can tell the RSI was the leading indicator. We came up, came down. Now we started getting a little bit of that bullish divergence. Even though the MACD is still bearish, generally you want to buy when the MACD is still bearish if the RSI is oversold. Because by the time the MACD catches up for that confirmation, you're going to be about 20 to 25% late on that weekly. If we switch over to a daily, this daily looks beautiful. Daily RSI is oversold. MACD slowly losing that bearish momentum. So from the RSI completely oversold to this candle is about 20% late on the daily. So MACD 20% late on the daily. On the weekly, you're probably going to get up about 25% late on those trade entries. But look right here. RSI oversold. RSI completely oversold. RSI double bottom RSI completely oversold. So double bottom RSI oversold, that's generally what I like to look for. You don't have to buy the very first RSI oversold because sometime we're going to liquidate down. And the difference between this was about 2 cent spread on Doge, about 20%. Double bottom RSI, yeah, now we're talking. That's when I entered. I entered on the double bottom RSI, and the price went down lower, and we started getting that bullish divergence. That's what I was about. If you look at my chart back here, the candle where I entered that long, I entered the long back here, and it dropped down a little bit more. So I entered around 9 cents on average, and then we dropped down to 8 cents. But I was okay with that. I was okay with that because I knew that somebody has to sell for me to be able to buy. So I wanted to front run the dip. I don't have to go for the absolute bottom to get a position. And I don't have to get the absolute top as well. I'm not trying to wait till the absolute top. I'll just show you that weekly RSI. We have so much more room to go. Even if I'm conservative and wait for that weekly RSI to get halfway overbought, I'll make over 50,000% by the time we get up there because I'm on high leverage. And I didn't have to close these trades because I got so much good entry. I'm on 200 times leverage for Doge. 200 times leverage on Doge. You might be asking what platform I'm using. I'm trading on Wheats, the one I've been using for the past few years. And it's been very consistent for these future plays. But just looking at these charts here, I have time. I don't have to close the trades right now. Seeing the price bounce hard at 60K made me feel very good. So once we get up there, Once Bitcoin breaks 74K, then I'm going to start deciding, hey, do I want to close Bitcoin long and then transition those Bitcoin profits into another long, like Cardano or Doge or Zilliqa. I already added more to Zilliqa, actually increasing my dollar cost average to increase my position. So what I probably plan on doing, if I take profits on the Bitcoin long, I'll probably slide that into Dogecoin. That's been a good strategy that I used for the past few years, and it's worked out very well. Or sometimes I'll take profits in some of these cryptos, and I'll add it to a weird meme coin or an altcoin that has utility. So I'm waiting. Probably we'll close the Bitcoin long first, and then put it into something like Doge or Cardano. Let's look at Cardano real quick as well. I got a good long on Cardano. That's ticker's ADA. So this is the weekly chart for Cardano. And I went long on Cardano 25 cents and some change. Right now we're sitting at 27 cents. What did I see on that weekly chart? Oversold. Let's measure. Let's see what happened last time we were oversold and then went to overbought. So completely oversold, about the same values, oversold, was July 1st candle, 2024 on that weekly chart. Price was 32 cents. From that RSI completely oversold to completely overbought, that was about 290% movement. If we go up 290% movement from the bottom to here, 295, that would actually be around these candles. So maybe 88.49 could as well. It's interesting, but 88.49, we've hit that many times. And it did look like it was a pretty strong resistance here and here and here. So maybe 88.49 might be resistance. We're going to add that in there as well. So this may be something to consider. But even if we go look halfway, 125%, that would still be very big profits for someone like me. If we go up 120%, it would fill, for this body of the candle, that would be about 60 cents. But this weekly chart, that 88.49, is possible we could reclaim that ground, reclaim that territory. So I'll put that in the charts channel real quick as well. I mentioned that 88.49 could be that resistance because I'm counting the candles. We did have those wake up from liquidations like $1.30. And the volatility spread between that resistance to the top, about 45, 46%, which was expected. But that volatility from this resistance to above ended up shrinking to about 13%. So even if I didn't get profit at 88.49 on Cardano, this would be a very good trade for the year. I would be okay giving myself 300 days to try to take that trade and make those profits from around 25 cents up to 88 cents. Cheers, everyone. Congratulations to everyone the other day that was able to get the cryptos they like on the Epstein crypto dip. There's not many black swans in crypto where we can get really good prices. There's not many times where Bitcoin drops 30% in a matter of days. But when it does, we're here to get those bags. Man, Cardano weekly chart. Cardano oversold. Very happy to get Cardano oversold. Man. So this resistance up here, long term, this thing could go back above $2. Cardano founder being transparent really motivated me. I know I said cheers and then I didn't drink. So cheers. Hope you guys can get some watermelon juice in the winter. Sure is refreshing. I went on a run. And got 6 watermelons. I'll probably go through them really fast this week. But staying hydrated keeps your brain really going. Getting plenty of cholesterol from your meats and hydration from your fruits, it will keep you sharp. Throwing a few naps in there if you're a little bit sleepy, you'll be good to go. Let's go out of Cardano weekly chart. Let's go back over here, watch the short term. Because on the short term, if you notice up here, we did get overbought a few times and get a little bit of resistance. But that RSI cools down on the hourly. Let's use Bitcoin for the hourly. If this RSI up here starts cooling down, oh, we're going to be cooking. I don't think it will come back to my entry for quite a period of time. So I'm happy holding these positions longer if I can. I think I have time. I did mess up this week though. You guys want to hear how I messed up? I'll show you real quick. So I round tripped a trade. That means it came up and then came back down to my entry. So I saw the volume increasing on Zilliqa, but it doesn't matter. Come back my entry. The weekly chart looks like this. But Zilliqa went up a lot. It went up like here to this wick right here, 008 range. That was a 55% increase, and then it came back down to my entry. So I did notice we got the volume spike, but seeing this volume spike, it keeps me in the trade. We have this giant falling wedge with a target up here at 5.8 cents. So I'm keeping the ZIL long open. The RSI is still not there yet. So once the RSI double tops up here, that price may be up here around that 5 cents. So could be looking at price increasing by over 700%. And I mentioned that I was okay round tripping that trade because this is my runner. I take profit on the other ones. I took profits last week, but this is going to be that runner. This is that trade that I'm going to hold until we actually go past 5 cents. And I'm going to squeeze as much as I can. I think it's healthy to let yourself have one runner for the year. Give yourself one good runner, let it run, and then be happy with it because you're consistently taking profits on so many pairs. We saw the Epstein files, we saw the news, we saw a lot of stocks. If you looked at the Epstein files, the documents, and you didn't read about any stocks or any cryptos in there, you were reading the Epstein files wrong. So make sure you scan your favorite cryptos. Make sure you scan your favorite founders. Plug their names in. Maybe you'll find some trade information out there. It's publicly available right now. Seeing Ethereum back above $2,000 feels very well. If we were to look at Ethereum over here, and we look at Ethereum on a bigger time frame, say the 4-hour time frame, from like the areas that I longed and took profits before, this thing if you see a lot of these numbers, most of these numbers are above 2,000. I did a lot of trades while Ethereum was above 2,000. So in my mind as well, maybe I could let Ethereum run back above 3,500 to $4,000 before closing this trade. But I already saw the signs of selling ETH in this range, and all the longs that opened on ETH already closed before. But the current take profit on the long, I'm thinking about 36.28. It may not be long to get there relatively in the world of trading crypto. And we have those liquidations up here that goes to 33.70 on the 4-hour chart. I know Eric Trump's really big on ETH. They bought a lot of ETH at pretty high prices. But just looking at this 4-hour chart, I feel very well. I need to draw the last time I closed. This was December 15th. I already closed that long. I closed it early. Let me check the Discord. December 15th. It would be nice to add it to the actual chart. December 15th. Almost 2 months ago. We got to find it in the Discord. Looking for that ETH long. So it looks like December 19th I closed that trade. If I look at the Discord right here, so that trade, this trade that you see on the screen here, when I longed it at 25.59, I closed it at 20. Yeah, because it's got that same entry. I closed it at 29.84, so I only did 300% on that trade. I probably I did that like 4 days later. So what I'll do, I'll just go to Discord for that on the chart, because it's a lesson, right? It's a very valuable lesson on taking profits. If I didn't take profits on trades like this before, I would lose them, and I would lose them very bigly. So it's actually very hard to see. Let me just get the image. How about that? Ah! So it's like this was on the 19th. So this was on December 15th. So, and then I closed the trade December 19th. So I closed that trade December 19th. It's a very short trade. I got like very good dip in here, and then it rode back up. It was going sideways. I closed it, and I didn't really do many ETH trades after that. If I go through the Discord, right? I did a ZIL trade. I closed ZIL at 5.1. I closed the Doge trade at 14 cents. I closed the SRP trade at $2. And all these prices where I closed those longs before were under those prices. If I go here and I type ETH, if I look at these, let's see, if I go through here and filter Ethereum, right? Let me go to the chart and come back to current price, because we're still over here at like $2,099. But if we look at my Discord about Ethereum, and if I look at the prices that I closed Ethereum trades before, I I could average those prices and probably get a rough idea of like what type of territory we could reclaim. I've done a lot of Ethereum trades. If you scroll through here, you can see when I close those trades. I've done shorts. I've done longs. I did a short from 37.84 down. I've done a short from 37.84 down to 36.86. I did a short from Bitcoin 109,000 down to 108. I did an E short from 25.84 down to 25.14. So if I'm closing shorts at 2,500, why don't I keep an Ethereum long open at 2,100, right? Logically, I should keep this long open until we reclaim some of these like lower areas where I've closed shorts before. I did a long from 25.83 up to 25.89, made 1,700%. I did a short from 2,500 and $2 down to 24.82, made like 300%. This ETH long from 25.55 down to 25.20, that's 1,000%. I did an E short from 25.13 to 24.64. So what you're seeing here, I'm doing like higher frequency trade. Like 10 of these trades adding up is over 4,000% easily. So what I'm expecting from this, if I can hold an ETH long now on the maximum leverage 400 times, I might keep this ETH long open longer. Because one time I did an ETH long from 1973 up to 1988 to a profit only made 298%. I did another ETH long after that from, it did dip back down to my entry before, 1921, 1928, 147%. But I have pages upon pages of Ethereum trades. Because, hey, let's wait. I'm going to hold this ETH long a little bit longer. Why is the price not moving? Is there a problem on Binance? Because it should not be $22,099 this long. What's happening? What's the volume like? What's wrong? Markets are that slow, apparently. I'll take it. Fine with me. I just thought it might have been a technical glitch. Well, guys, let me make myself a little bit darker so you can focus more on the charts. I'm not the real estate here. My face is not the real estate of the stream. It's the indicators and the charts that you should be paying attention to. So my logic, I will probably try to hold an ETH trade longer. These are supposed to be some short-term scalps, but I'll probably let them run a little bit longer. That's my logic. And I probably, next time I stream, I gotta adjust the bit rate. The stream keeps going up. These prices are moving quite slowly, though. I'm seeing the network is sending the packets. No dropped frames. Let's see over here. Yep, it's working. Sorry about that connection issue, guys. I think there may be some internet issue though, because I'm seeing these charts are moving quite slowly. They're moving, but very slowly. Sorry about that, YouTube. We're back. Adjusted the stream bitrate. But by that logic, I'll probably hold ETH minimum 3,000 before taking profits. and then I'll start deciding from there where I want to go. I think 3,000 is fine. I think 3,500 would be very ideal. If we can get above 3,500 again within the next year or two, I would be very happy with this Ethereum long. Some good spot trades as well. Bitcoin's trying to break up here above 70,000 again. We're at 69,700 American dollars. Dogecoin's just a little bit under 10 cents, and XRP is still around $1.43. Ethereum did reclaim 2,100 at 2106, so we're still doing very well right now. I'm looking at the charts here, and these liquidations on the 5 minutes are still on that top side. You guys, any trades right now? Want to share your info about your trades? We're getting some of those indecisive candles as we get closer up here, but that's the volatility has been improving over the past 9 hours. We saw Ethereum had a wick from 2,000 to 2132. So we measure a bottom of that wick to the top of the wick 5%. So we have been getting some of these volatilities. Candles volatile going up is good. Initially, when we saw these charts, when we started entering these longs, we didn't know what was going to happen, but we had an idea what was going to happen. And like a lot of people, yeah, we knew that this dip could happen. People are afraid to enter, but now we're up a lot, and we're going to be up even more by the time we make it to the top for these coins. These four cryptos that we're trading on this screen, ETH, Doge, Bitcoin, and XRP, they have pretty high market caps. Lots of money are trading in these coins. So I'm okay leaving trades running for quite a little while. The ones I'd be worried about are lower market cap ones, or ones with a lot lower trading volume. Even reclaiming from like 60,000 to 70,000, that $10 move inspired a lot of retail traders. There's a lot of people that are out there watching the price and deciding to stay in their longs. So just looking at the charts, you can probably get an idea of how much further we can go up. If Cardano reclaims $1 again in the future, a lot of traders are going to be very happy. But if we even touch 50 cents again, you're going to see some resistance of traders taking profits. Anybody have any questions about the price of these coins or any of their trades? Liminal says, yesterday it was all tears and doom. Today it's another story. Yeah, I still see on social media a lot of people are still doom posting about this crypto dump. I didn't see enough people actually posting screenshots of enough profits yet, so I'm still holding these longs as well. David says, didn't Elon say a few years ago that he was going to put a Dogecoin on the moon also? I think another company was going to put a Dogecoin on the moon, but Elon recently said they're going to put a literal Dogecoin on the moon. I think that would be a pretty good day to be trading Dogecoin. The day that happens, I think it'd be very interesting to watch those charts. Let's do a poll today. So, are you bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? Let's see how you guys feel right now while the price is up here at 69K. I want to see what you guys think, because we've reclaimed a lot of ground. $69,519. Are you bullish or are you bearish on Bitcoin? Because the other day I did a poll and you guys were like 50-50 as the price is trying to break back above here. Now let's see how you feel. See how you guys feel now. We slipped a little bit under 2,100 for ETH. It's at $2,098. XRP is $1.42. Dogecoin is at 9.85 cents, and Bitcoin's at $69,520. What do you guys do when you're trading? When you're watching your charts? Do you just stare at the charts? Do you listen to audiobooks or podcasts while you're trading? Maybe play a video game or Write down your strategies while you're trading. Yeah, we had a lot of dumps. Etchgenverse says fear and greed index at 5 today. Yeah, usually the fear index is better to buy down in the dips than at the top of the rips. That's the way I see it. Dogecoin, if it reclaims 10 cents again, we're probably going to get closer and closer to breaking that resistance. When we break the resistance at 10 cents, do not be surprised if it takes a very short period of time to go from 10 cents to 11 cents. When I say short period of time for crypto, 1 day or less. If we can get back from 10 to 11 cents in under a day, don't be surprised. I've seen liquidations like this happen numerous times before. That's why a lot of people, they have the 10-cent policy for Doge. Doge goes down to 10 cent, they buy. It goes up 10, 20%, they sell. Because they know that they can consistently do that over the few years. I want to build something or code something today. I think that's what I'm going to be doing when I'm trading, while I'm watching these charts on the uptrend. You said you're making dinner before family gets home, listening to you? I bet you're making steak. Are you making steak? Are you cooking steak, good sir? I might cook some steak later too while I'm watching these prices. I might bake some bread as well. It takes so long making the bread dough by hand. Use some tools. Might pull out the drill. Gotta make that bread dough. Dirty D says, what price do you think Bitcoin will be at the bottom of the bear markets? Just seeing the big accumulation, I think maybe $40,000 would be a good bounce for Bitcoin. It'd probably be a lot harder to go down to $10,000 again, but 40,000, that's reasonable. And that would probably be a very good bounce. It could be a good bounce like $60,000 was. You'll get more trading volume at 40K Bitcoin than we got at 60K though, which will be confirmation. Man, we're sideways trading right now though. I'm sure some of these indicators alerts are about to blast off any minute though. Probably see a lot of volume happening any minute. It's at 5:23 p.m. Eastern time zone. I think something in the world will happen relatively soon, and we'll just boom, boom, on the top side. You say your wife made a loaf of bread and steak was 2 nights ago. Trout tonight. Okay, that's good. I don't know if I want to make a trading bot. I don't like trading bots. I've used them before, and I think these manual trades. I feel like these manual trades outperform them, especially if the bots start hallucinating if it's AI based or something like that. Yeah, I probably will be cooking a little bit too. Yeah, Claude is interesting on that. I've used it for like I've used AI for like programming some small games and stuff like that. Yeah, the Super Bowl is disappointing for Dogecoin previously. But I think like days after the Super Bowl, like we started seeing more volume in the markets. Still a 2093 for ETH. Yeah, I know when I sleep, but I don't want to trust a bot or something while I'm sleeping. Maybe like very small amounts, but I don't know. I'd rather build like a bot for something else other than trading. Over like the macro perspective of Bitcoin and crypto in general, though, I I know we're early on macro wise. These crypto coins aren't even over 50 years old. Some of the technology is relatively new. A lot of cryptos are using newer technology. So I think of over my lifetime, we're going to get more exposure. We're going to get more traders in crypto. Nah, OpenClaw is really bad. I saw that Claw had a lot of AI stuff that was actually downloading backdoors and viruses and trojans into people's Mac Minis. Have to be very careful what you give AI permission to do, because some of the packages it will download viruses. We're still pushing here. Bitcoin's still 69,560. We haven't had a big wick in about 13 hours, but we're still in green. We're still in the uptrend. Well, guys, Bitcoin's trying. It's trying. Let's use that 1 second magic, shall we? Let's put some of that 1 second magic on the charts so we can see in real time if something crazy starts happening. Doge is at 9.85 cents range. Bitcoin's still above 69,000. Keep track of the time and watch your charts. Hello, Arc Legends. I've been good. Been consistently trading, keeping it sharp. Lately got some very good entries on the big Epstein dip and just riding them up. I, I'm wondering if the Epstein dip was that, and then we can ride it up until the next big catalyst. Dogecoin is trying to push up with XRP. Ethereum and Bitcoin is still holding up here as well. Dogecoin wants to push. I'm telling you guys, probably within the next 28 minutes, you see something on the news, and we get some crazy candles coming in. Set an alarm. May see something crazy in the next 28 minutes before that 6 p.m. Eastern candle rolls in here. I'm going to step away for a few minutes and I'll come back. So I'll leave the chart. Be right back in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. So we're still above 69,000 for ETH. Doge still around 9.8 cents. That XRP still above $1.40. ETH is still above $2,080. Let's throw everything. Let's put on 5 minutes. Put a local triple top on the 5 minutes for Bitcoin. I mean, we've been ranging on Doge here. About 3 hours, 45 minutes. Not bad. So from the longs that we have till now, still going very well. You think we're going to have a big rally this week, 30D? Someone says if Bitcoin goes to 9K, I have much bigger problems. You're absolutely right. Let's see. Are we getting into that oversold territory in 5 minutes? Yes. Not for Doge yet, but it was getting oversold. This might be that area where we can catapult up to break above 10 cents. Maybe that area. Still above $1.40 for XRP. We noticed here that Dogecoin and Bitcoin are similar, but Dogecoin had a little bit more of this tight sideways trading. If we look at Bitcoin here, the same, like we had the wick here, and then wick here, they aligned. But then Bitcoin, when it climbed up here, brum, 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 brum. But when you look at Bitcoin on the 5 minute, it has a lot of liquidations as well on the top side. Dollar value, the liquidation value is higher for Bitcoin than it is for Dogecoin when we start going up to that top side. Bitcoin did start making one of the biggest red candles we've seen on the 5 minutes in the past few hours, though. We haven't seen a candle like this since 5 hours, 50 minutes ago. The short-term triple top waiting target for 68,776. We do have a depth cross for Doge. This is just the 5 minute chart, though. I'm not really impressed about the noise on this. Still waiting. XRP still above $1.40. If we look over here, zoom out, we're still up significantly from here. It could even retrace back down towards my entry, and I would be very fine with that for this type of trade because of how good of an entry I got. And if it did do that, I'd be happy for the people that got the same entry as me as well. Yeah, even if we go back to my entry, I would be okay round tripping these coins. Because of where my entry is on Doge and ETH and XRP, I feel very well about Ethereum and Doge. $9.79 for Doge. It's not even a whole penny away from my entry. Bitcoin is up significantly from my entry though. I feel like SRP is up over 26 for my entry is very good too. We're still at $69,000 Bitcoin. Doge is still around 9.81. So we haven't really had a major pump yet. We did reverse quite a big deal though. A lot of these coins are up over 15% from their local bottoms that we've had. Bitcoin's still around $69,000. And it was in this range for about 10 hours. Pretty good opportunities for sideways trading if you want to do a bunch of small trades in the last 10 hours for that 69K Bitcoin. I'm hoping to take profits on my Bitcoin long above 70K. If I put this on the 15 minutes, you'll be able to see some of those entries, some of the areas where we started noticing the moving averages, those confirmation-based traders jumping in. My last entry long on Bitcoin was around $63,970. I still feel pretty good about that entry. I think that I'll be able to squeeze a lot of profits out of these trades. As long as Bitcoin holds above 60,000 and doesn't wick down to 55K again, I'll be okay in this position. Doge is still above 9 cents. From the last step down to the EMA, we're up about 3.33% for Doge. Top of these liquidations, we're about 7% away from Bitcoins, 4.4% from ETHs. So we still have room. And the long-term RSIs still have a lot of room as well that I showed you guys earlier today. So for the poll that we have this evening, are you bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? Actually, 54% bullish, 46% bearish. Okay, I see that. So you guys are still like undecided. There's no major majority. I don't see any major majority for that poll. No major movements lately. The Bitcoin did drop about 1% in the last 1 hour 30 minutes. SRP still around $1.42. Let's check on Cardano real quick, shall we? Zill still around 0.0042. Cardano is still around 27 cents as well. So looking at Cardano on a weekly makes me feel better about my position. Getting it in that oversold zone feels good. That resistance up there, though, we're over 200% away from that resistance. You guys doing anything fun this weekend? We're going to be watching your charts all weekend. Bitcoin just lost 69,000. That is worthy of a notification. So we did lose 69K. We do have a lot of liquidations. I would not be surprised about some of these wicks. I think we're still in the uptrend. We held the V-shaped recovery, so that's pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if we double bottom down here, local at $66,678 for Bitcoin. That's feasible. I would be surprised if it came all the way back down to my exact entry price, though. That would surprise me. $58,844 for Bitcoin. Doge is at 9.78 cents. Still holding these positions. I'm up over 10,000%. I probably will close these after I'm up 50,000%. That's probably the goal. Crypto Sleeper says we're about to get dumped on hard, he's bearish. That may be a possibility. We were getting in that overbought range earlier, about 4 hours ago in the 5 minutes, and then double top on that RSI. But price went up higher as well, so I see it's normal right now. We are pushing here though. Bitcoin's trying to hold right here. If you look at our side getting oversold in 5 minutes now, this is that cool down we needed. The volume's not super high on the 5 minutes though, it's about 100 volume. Actually, this is even the 15 minutes. The last candle was 250 Bitcoin. So just starting it out up here in this candle. Bitcoin's been around 69K for the past 4 hours. We're in this range. We might start bouncing up to the top side. I'm going to step away again. I'm making some bread right now. I'll jump back in a few minutes. May start rolling the dough and then throwing it in the oven. But yeah, I'm still in my longs for those who are curious. Okay, I'm back. Bitcoin's still around 69,000. Doge still a little bit under 9.8 cents. Well, 9.9 cents now. SRP still around $1.42, and Ethereum still a little bit under 2,100 American dollars. We've been ranging for quite a while now, but I think we're going to start making our way back up relatively soon. Plenty of liquidations up here on the top side. I noticed we had like a small dip. We were getting overbought. Price started coming down. Now we're going back up. $59,282 American dollars for Bitcoin. We're going to push through these shorts. Good. It's going to be a very good weekend for retail traders. Dogecoin wants to break 10 cents. We're under these liquidations. We're still completely oversold on the weekly RSI. So there's plenty of room on that top side. Are you bullish or bearish? This poll is still 54% bullish, 46% bearish. Let us know in the comments below how you guys feel. We've been live now for about 2 hours, 30 minutes, and we haven't seen a lot of price action. These liquidations. Oh, yeah. $9.82 for Doge. Still a lot more for my entry. A lot more. As long as we stay above 60,000, I'm confident in these positions. You're still bullish Etchgen verse. Well, they're working on some crypto bills, which I think will probably affect the price. $9,250. Ethereum just reclaimed 2,090 American dollars. Net stop up here is above 2,100 American dollars. 5-minute liquidation takes us above $76,000 for Bitcoin. Ethereum's up there 2261, so we can still see another $200 added on to Ethereum at this price. These liquidations are very compact right here. We have a bull flag forming on Doge 5 minutes chart. Let's crop that real quick as well. Bull flag target 10.2. Yep, I'm still in my longs. I am still in my longs. I did not take profits yet. I'm still waiting this one out a little bit longer. Anything could happen. Bitcoin's almost at 69,400. It's trying to break out of this range that we have up here on the top side. Don't be surprised if we do break out up here and start pushing up. Etchenverse says that small Bitcoin dip below 69K was to retest the 200 moving average and the bottom of the flag. Yep. I'm working on trying to squeeze the most out of this trade, even if it means I have to keep watching a little bit longer. $69,300 for Bitcoin right now. Doge is still at 9.8 cents. XRP is at $1.42. Does feel good. Estrogen first says thoughts on 95K as a target. I think that would be a very aggressive target. For my entry to 95K, it is possible. It's a matter of time. But it is very aggressive. I see so many dips along the way that I'm not sure I could hold this trade until 95,000. But it is an option that I could explore if the price starts running and I can continue holding it. That is an option that I will consider. So, guys, I'm up over 10,000%. Would you hodl or would you sell? If you were up 10,000%, if you were up 100 times in just 3 days, would you sell? Would you hold? What would you explore doing? I'm up 10,000% and I want to be up over 50,000%. I want to let this run as long as I can. I want to feel that inner greed this time on this trade. That's where I'm at right now. Well, guys, my dinner is almost ready, so I'm probably a step away from the camera and microphone for a little bit, eat the dinner, and I'll jump back in here after. Let me know in the comments while I'm going. What would you do? Alright guys, I'm going to be wrapping up this stream. I'll continue this stream tomorrow. I still think we're in this sideways zone, so if I see anything, I'll try to take a screenshot, post it on Discord. Anyways, I'll jump back in tomorrow. You guys have a good night.